you can start posting content online right now with what you have. I know you keep telling yourself that you need a new phone, a new camera, better lighting, a microphone, all of these things, when at the end of the day, we know that those are just excuses. When you're living with the fear judgment, you will tell yourself every excuse possible so that you can delay the start time of when you actually start posting content online. The only thing this excuse is really doing is keeping you stuck. Are these extra things nice when creating content? Yes. Are they mandatory? No, they're not. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Post It Anyway. I am Jessica, and I'm here to help you overcome the fear judgment so that you can start posting content online. I really thought I was going to have a better schedule when I was away. I had everything planned out in my head. Nothing really turned out how I wanted it to, but that's just the name of the game sometimes. I'm happy to be back. As we can see, I'm back in my regular environment, we shall say. The only thing that I don't like that is missing right now is my flowers. I usually always have flowers in the background, but at least I got the candle. I'm smelling the hints, the notes of vanilla, and that is that. I'm really excited for today's episode because we're really going to get into how to start posting even though you don't feel 100% ready. You guys know I say this probably in most episodes. We have to start posting even though we don't feel ready. If you are waiting for the perfect time for you to start feeling ready, I don't even want to say you'll be waiting forever, because you will be waiting for more than forever. Okay. There's never going to be the perfect time. You may never feel 100% ready, but that is just what it is. You're going to have to start some way, somehow. So we're going to get into all of that in today's episode. So grab yourself a little snack, a drink of water, and let's get into it. Okay, so what does waiting for the right moment to post even look like when you're living with the fear judgment? It's obviously going to be different, depending on where you are along your journey. But the first thing is you're constantly preparing, okay? So in the beginning, obviously, before you even start creating content, most people are, first of all, you're watching other people's content. This is just as a normal consumer, right? You're trying to figure out what you want to post, what niche you want to be in, what your content would look like. You're also getting inspiration from other creators, right? And I talked about this in a different episode where you want to, be careful, because you can scroll, try to get that inspiration, try to get inspired. And that scrolling may lead to doom scrolling. And that just becomes a whole barrier, a whole block. And then once you start doom scrolling, you start comparing yourself. You think that your content is not even going to be good enough to what you're watching. So let's be careful. Of course, we can get inspiration online. Of course, we can get inspired by other people. We want to make sure if that is what you're doing it wisely and it doesn't backfire on you. All content creators go through the phase where they are preparing. It's really normal if you really think about it, right? The thing is, how long have you been preparing for? So have you been preparing to start creating content for the past week? For the past, 6 months? Since January 1st, 2026? Since January 1st, 2025? How long have you been preparing for it? That is what makes the big distinction between, okay, you're preparing to start posting content, or you actually have an excuse that you're hiding behind and you think everything needs to be perfect before you can start. Constantly preparing looks a little bit different for those who are a little bit further along in their journey, right? So you can have drafts that keep piling up more and more. So you're filming the content, you're editing the content, but you're scared to post the content, right? And that is what is keeping you stuck. Actually posting the content is what is getting this group of people stuck. And you keep thinking about, your friends, your family members, co-workers, people who you went to school with. So just depending on where you are on your journey, constantly preparing can be a problem, okay? It can be an excuse that you're hiding behind, and it can hinder your content creation journey. So just be careful. Only you truly know the answer to this. How long have you really been preparing to post content for? When it comes to content creation, becoming a content creator, all these things, planning is literally half the job. The other half is the editing, the filming, the posting. I did that in the wrong direction, but the filming, the editing, and the posting. That's the second half of the job. Just because you have been planning, and it feels productive. Yes, it does. It always feels productive. Planning something out, having a blank piece of paper or a blank screen, and then filling it out with all your ideas and all your plans. Those are amazing things. Feels so productive, but it's half the job. Yes, there is some, let's emphasize on that word, some progress being done, but it's not as much as you think it is if you are constantly always in this stage and you're feeding off of that feeling of, feeling productive. You need to do more than that, than just plan. You have to literally look at the facts. And this is something I tell myself, not even with content creation, just in like personal life. If there's something I'm trying to figure out or deal with, I'm like, okay, Jessica, look at the facts. So what are the facts in this situation that we are talking about here? You have all these plans, you continuously plan, you are feeling productive, very productive, but have you pressed the post button on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube? Have you pressed the upload button? That is a fact. Either you have or you haven't, okay? So look at the facts. Planning is great, it really is, but posting will always be the goal, okay? For these episodes, I can plan and plan and plan, but if I don't actually sit here and film it, if I don't actually edit it, if I don't upload it, then what good is that to you and what good is that to me? You guys know I'm always going to have to throw in a reference of things that are, typically trending online. But you guys know that trend, or no, I don't even know if it's really a trend, but this video, I guess it's a trend. I was going to say it's a video that I've seen many times from many creators. That means it's a trend. Where people are like me at 3 a.m. with my chat, just rebranding my life, or me at like whatever, 2 a.m. through some random time in the morning, just rebranding my life, just making my workout plan, all these, things that people are doing at crazy hours of the night. And that is because you are feeding off that that planning energy that I was saying. You feel like you're making so much progress. But if you're on ChatGPT at 2 a.m. in the morning and you're going to sleep at 6 a.m., so you have had 4 hours of, rebranding your whole life. You went through every section of your life and you're just like, this is what's going to happen. And you stop there. What good is that to you, right? So you're feeding off the, wow, things can change, the dopamine that definitely gives you. It feels like you're doing something, and you are, like I said, but it's not the full picture, okay? So we need to remember that, yes, it's amazing to plan, but also where is the action part? Where is you bringing out the camera and filming and editing and posting? I love adding a little bit of science into most of these episodes just because with the fear of judgment, with, content creation, putting yourself out there, all these things, there's just a way that the brain is wired that I can talk so much about my experience. I can talk so much about the fear of judgment, other people's experiences, all these things, right? But if you take it a little bit deeper and you actually understand the science, I just feel like it helps you understand everything so much more. Even me, when I was overcoming the fear of judgment, actually understanding why my brain is doing such a certain thing, why it's protecting me in this way. I didn't even know it was protecting me at one point. I was just like, oh, I have a problem. But I'm like, oh, after you learn, you're like, okay, oh wait, your brain is protecting you because it wants to keep you safe in your comfort zone, all these things, right? So I love adding a little science. So this is just our science corner. I should have like a little jingle go up. We'll get into that in the future, okay? We'll get into that in the future. And also, obviously, I feel like it's very good to know what is happening internally. If you continuously find yourself in a certain loop, in a certain habit, if you keep getting stuck with something specific, it's just good to know why is this happening on a deeper level, which I already said. When you are preparing, when you're planning, when you're getting inspiration, when all of these things are happening, you are really telling your brain to get ready, right? To get ready for something because something is happening and your brain gets excited, and that is amazing. We need that, okay? I feel like it's important to be excited about certain things in your life, especially when you're planning. Let's say, for example, I don't know why this popped into my head, a wedding. If you're planning a wedding, your brain is like, oh, this is happening. You have a goal, you have something to look forward to. Wedding, content creation, two different things. But that's where my brain went, okay? It's fine. Planning is good. It's important and it's needed. I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying planning is a waste of time or you shouldn't be planning. I'm just saying don't spend all your time planning and don't think that planning is the end. It's really just the beginning. And the thing about planning and getting prepared and all of these things is that most of the time, all of these things are done in your comfort zone. So it's done at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're home in your bed on ChatGPT. It's done when you're by yourself and you're planning content. All these things are in your comfort zone. Now, if we talk about actually posting the content, your brain sees that as exposure, okay? You are exposing yourself. And when you are putting yourself out there on social media, you're sharing parts of yourself, your thoughts, your life, if you're doing vlogs or whatever, right? All these things that you're sharing, this is not an easy thing to do, okay? You're getting outside your comfort zone. When that happens, your brain is like, oh, this is a threat, right? This is a threat because you are exposing yourself. You're getting outside of your safe zone, your comfort zone, where everything is, easy, it's predictable. You know what can happen. You know your boundaries. These are all the things that your brain is trying to protect you from. But the thing with the fear of judgment is that if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you will live with the fear of judgment forever. The fear of judgment and staying in your comfort zone go hand in hand together. You have to get out of your comfort zone to start the process of overcoming the fear of judgment. Otherwise, you're just going to stay stuck where you are right now. And it's really not about like, oh, I don't feel ready yet because I don't have the new iPhone 17 Max Pro, which is going to give me good quality. Okay. I'm not ready yet because I don't have a microphone that's going to make me sound good. It's not about these things. It's about the fear of judgment and you avoiding being judged. That's where the difference is. I remember, I don't know when I started using the mic, probably a few episodes ago, not that long ago, but I remember maybe in episode 4 or 5, I was like, guys, I do have a mic, which I did. I'm like, I do have a mic, but like, I need to set it up before I start using it. But okay, it's only 4 episodes, but still, I could have waited until I had everything set up before I started making, this content. It's like, no, put the content out there, readjust, detour as you go, but you need to start. That is the main difference. Okay. I could have gave myself excuse after excuse after excuse and brainwash myself to believe those excuses. But the difference is me actually just starting with what I had, my camera, and you don't need a camera to start. I just have one because I've been doing content for like 6 years now. So obviously you invest in yourself and things like that. But had my camera and myself. What else did I have? My camera and myself, and I just started talking and filming, and here we are. Now I'm actually using my mic because obviously when you're doing content creation, this is going off on a tangent. It has nothing to do with like feeling ready, but still it's important to say. So I'm going to say it since it's on my mind. As you are in this content creation game, this content creation industry, whatever, you start investing in yourself. You start, wanting your content. Why did that word not come to my head? Obviously content. We start wanting your content to look a little better, to sound a little better. And I also have like another smaller mic, I guess, but I don't even use that all the time when I'm making content. Before I get deeper into this rabbit hole, let me just say it like this. Overall, over time, you want your content to be better, look better, sound better, all these things. And also, as I always say, once you start creating content, you learn more about yourself and your pitch and how you talk on camera and things you want to change and add and subtract and whatever, right? Guys, I've gotten so far into the deep end. I don't know where I was going with that, but I think my main point of that little tangent was basically start with what you have and it will get better over time. The best way to know if you really are living with the fear of judgment, the fear of being perceived, the fear of being seen, one of those three, is that if you keep telling yourself that you want to start posting content, but you haven't yet, right? And I came to you and I was like, oh, can you start posting right now, like today or tomorrow on a private account? And you say yes. That means it's not about the excuses. It's not about you needing a camera, another phone, lighting, and all these things. It's really about you protecting yourself because you don't want to be judged or perceived or seen online or seen trying. I'm pretty sure I brought this up in the last episode when I was talking about my story and how I overcame the fear of judgment, and in the beginning with my nutrition and stuff, how I wanted to start posting pictures of food, right? And one of my excuses I was holding on to for so long was the plates and the bowls. Because I wanted to get certain plates and bowls so I can start taking pictures. And it's like, when I think about it now, I was like, wow, I was really grasping at every excuse that I could find. Like, Jessica, are you serious? You couldn't start posting because you needed certain plates. This is why when I talk about like, you having excuses, you're not going after what you truly want, you know what you want, it's really you living with the fear and all these things. I come from it from a place of like, oh, I've walked in those shoes. I know what it's like to tell yourself every excuse in the book so that you don't start posting, so that you continue to stay in your comfort zone, so that you don't have to put yourself out there. But on the flip side, it's like, what you truly want. You know that you want to become a content creator. You want to start posting content. It's just that the fear of judgment is paralyzing you. Wow. Today, tangent day. And I kind of love it. I kind of love a little going off the rails, going off of what's not in front of me. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know what it is about YouTube, but on this YouTube and on my personal YouTube, they get the side of me that's like, wow, they get all of me. You get all of me. Okay, let's continue on. So my excuses with the plates and the bowls, this is because I was scared of being judged. I was scared of, putting myself out there as the expert, right? People coming to me for recommendations, me putting my recommendations out there with the nutrition world and stuff like that. And I was scared. I haven't overcome the fear judgment at that point. I was still in the beginning steps and everything was so scary. So of course I'm going to find any and every excuse that was available to me at that time and use it. But obviously, if you listen to that episode, I just basically said, which is the truth. It came to a point where I was like, right now, I have to either start this process or I'm just going to live with it forever, because it was really do or die. I make it sound so dramatic, but it really was. It was COVID times too. So it's like, pick a side, because no, we're not going to get into too much tangents today. Let's just move on to the next thing. Wait, before we actually move on to the next thing, let me just say, do not be upset at yourself and your brain for how it's wired, okay? Your brain's job is to protect you and to keep you safe. So don't be upset, or don't get upset at yourself for, constantly feeling stuck, constantly being in this cycle. Understand what is going on, and that helps so much. I always say, like, I think it's even impossible, but it is so difficult. I'll use the word difficult. I won't say impossible, because anything's possible nowadays. It is so difficult to overcome a fear that you know nothing about, right? So if you don't know about the fear of judgment, you actually know about it. Yes, you know about living with it, but if you don't know what is happening scientifically, psychologically in your mind, it's very hard to, start that process of overcoming it. But once you start to learn a little bit more about it, it's like, you know what? Wait, this is why this is happening. And now I know that I can get to the root of this fear and overcome it, so I don't have to keep using these excuses. Let's get into the truth about being ready and feeling ready. So first of all, there's not a magical moment that happens that you're like, you know what? Now I feel ready to start posting content. It doesn't happen like that, guys. You are not going to feel 100% ready before you start posting. Okay. At no point before I started posting did I ever feel ready. Even when I started, I didn't feel 100% ready. As I've said many times, I used to, in the beginning, post my content, throw my phone across the room, start sweating. I did not feel ready, but there comes a point where it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to wait forever until you're ready? You can't. You really can't. I know a lot of people want to gain all these skills and all this knowledge and all this confidence before they start posting, but it's like, all of that is going to come from after you post, okay? After you post, once you get into the flow of posting, once you get into the rhythm of posting, understanding social media in general, because being a consumer and creator are two different things. You can be both, definitely, but you will never really know the creator side unless you actually start posting as a creator, right? Otherwise, you're a consumer and you're just seeing, the final product. But being and doing the back end stuff, the actual filming, the editing, and then posting it, you get to learn more about content in general. There's not really a rule book for content, but there are some things that you will never know about content creation unless you're doing it yourself. You can, as we said in the beginning of the episode, you can plan, you can prepare. It's not going to give you all the progress that you actually need. Guys, the first post that you post online, or the first handful, honestly, the first a lot, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't even need to be great. It just needs to be posted. And 99.99% of the time, it's not going to be great. And that's okay. That is fine. The thing that matters is that you're getting your foot in the door. The things that matter is that it is posted, is that you are doing what is required of you, because you keeping all your content, you keeping all your plans, you having your drafts full, you doing all of this stuff and not posting is literally taking away from what your goal is. It's taking away from what your dream is. You want to be a content creator, the content needs to be posted. And again, that's just a fact. That's just a fact of a fact of a fact of a fact. I think this is actually the first episode. I'm going to have a little action. It's like a little action area for you guys to do, right? A lot of the time I'm just giving out information, which I love it. Love talking, love yapping. But today I want to leave you guys with an action step of something you can do that can actually help you. So I find that a lot of people who have wanted to start creating content for a long time, but haven't done so yet, they say that this is the year that they're going to start creating content. This is the year they're going to become a content creator. this is the year, right? And they said that since 2018. One of the main issues I see with this specific group of people is that the content they want to post is too big. Okay, it's too big. It's not that it's too big for them to post. Just right now, it is a lot. Okay, so I always say, I want you to post the simple version of your goal content. This is for people who obviously want to start posting content, haven't posted anything at all, are an aspiring content creator. You know, you keep saying you want to start posting content. This is really who it's for. It could even be for people who have a handful of posts online, but mostly, you know if this is you, okay? You know if this is you. So this is the action step, okay? What is the simple version of the content that you want to post? How can you break it down? How can you make it simple so that you can actually start posting rather than continuously thinking about the big thing that you want to post and not going anywhere with that at all? I find that I always gravitate towards using fashion creators as an example when I'm talking about social media for the most part. I feel like I probably mentioned fashion creators in every episode, but I don't know. I think it's because I'm not really a fashion girly, and I don't really look up, but I love fashion content. Well, I don't love. That's a lie. I just really like fashion content, and I know I'm not a fashion girly, so I appreciate it. I think that's what it is. But anyways, I'm going to use the fashion content creator example again. So if you want to, let's say, go into the fashion field, fashion niche, obviously use the example of the niche that you want to go in. I'm just using fashion. Okay. So you want to go into the fashion niche, and your ideal content. Okay. Your ideal content is putting an outfit together on camera, showing all the pieces, showing the jewelry, showing your fit, aesthetic editing, all these things, right? Clear visual, all these things is your ideal piece of content that you would like to post online. But right now you have nothing online. You don't even have one piece of content, and your goal content, yes, okay, maybe it's scaring you, maybe it's a little bit too big. That is fine. You just put that goal content into a little basket. It doesn't mean that you're getting rid of it. It doesn't mean that you're never going to post it. You just put it into a basket for now. We're going to break that content down. So if you want to do a simple version, this is what you would do instead. The simple version is that you would film yourself with the outfit on. There's background music, preferably trending, because that mostly helps a lot of the time. You are showing maybe certain pieces to the screen, maybe do it like a 360 don't flip 360 turn in the camera, and you're just really showing your outfit. You can zoom in to certain details of your outfit if you like. You can have some text pop up of like where you got certain things, right? So that is just a simple version because you don't have a mic. Did I say that in the example? I hope I did. You don't have a mic, so you're not really explaining everything. It may be overwhelming. It kind of is overwhelming even thinking about your first piece of content online being you like talking to the camera. Mine, I told you guys, mine was like pictures of food. So all of these things, you're basically limiting a lot of barriers that may keep you stuck, right? So you not having to talk to the camera in the beginning, that relieves a lot of anxiety. You not having to actually put the outfit together on camera, that also relieves some anxiety because, as I said, in the simple version, you're going to show up, you're already going to be in the outfit, do a little spin, show some certain aspects, boom, the video is done. Background music, okay? It is a very simple version of what you truly want to post. Starting simple and working your way up will always be better than staying stuck where you are right now. And that is just another fact. That is just the truth, okay? Because yes, you can be stuck for 5 years, or you can start super simple and work your way up to what you want. Obviously, I rather you start simple and work your way up to what you want. I want you guys who haven't started posting content yet to try doing this week, okay? Take your goal content, break it down to what a simple version of it could be, and post that instead. You're giving yourself too much pressure. Definitely too much pressure if you're expecting your first post to be perfect, okay? And for it to have everything that you want in it. If your ideal content has like sliding text across the screen, all these sound effects and pop-ups, and it's too much for you to do, just do static text, okay? Static text, this watches from guests or whatever, right? You don't need to go all in the beginning. What you need to do is start. What you need to do is even build the habits of posting. Because you have never pressed that post button before. You've never pressed the upload button before. Get into the habit of doing that first. I love how in the beginning of this episode, it was so cloudy outside. There was no sun at all. And now that we're almost at the end, It's just a fully sunny day. I gotta go for a walk later. If you need help to break down what you really want to post into a simple version, just leave a comment down below, DM me, whatever, email me if you really want to be so formal. And I will help you. I will help you make that goal content a little bit more simple so that you can actually start posting, because that is my goal for you guys, to start posting content. Content creation is literally meant to be fun. It's not meant to be stressful 24/7. Of course, there are stressful moments, whatever, can't get the shot right. You want this to be perfect. You want this to be, things happen, okay? Stress is just inevitable in most jobs. I don't want you guys to stress. I want you to start simple and know that even though you're not 100% ready, you can start posting anyway. I've mentioned a few times, I think in the past couple episodes, that I am working on something, still working on it, it's almost done, working on something that will help you guys to start posting within 30 days. Guaranteed within 30 days, you will start posting. I am actually very close to the finish line. So in the next episode, I will be talking even more about it. I know I'm just like sprinkling it in here and there, but yes, in the next episode, we'll actually get more into what it is. And I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys because, as I've said before, I'm like jumping now. As I've said before, this is something I literally wish there was something like this when I was starting the process of overcoming the fear of judgment. Because what do you mean I'm living with the fear of judgment? I'm scared to post. I'm scared to be seen online. And within 30 days, I'm going to start posting. You see my face? If you're listening on audio, you can't see my face, but I just like gave my camera a little side eye, like, But yes, it's true, guys. So I'm very excited for next week. So that is that. I will see you guys in next week's episode. And before I actually go, just in case you didn't know, if you go in the description box under this video, you will see my TikTok and my Instagram connected to my fear judgment platforms. When I say fear judgment platforms, it's because I also have, let's just say, another part of me online, which is just like more personal stuff. But obviously, if you're here, I'm pretty sure you're here for the fear of judgment stuff, to actually start posting online. I've separated the two just because I know with, overcoming the fear of judgment and wanting to be a content creator and post online and social media and things like that, it just doesn't go along with like my personal stuff, right? So this is like our community, our world, our spot on the internet. So just want to say that just in case you want to see more short form videos of me talking about the fear of judgment, how you can overcome it, all of these things, you can find that in the description box. Okay, wonderful. See you guys next week. Goodbye.